I'm also like this. I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is here. I haven't really tested it all that much. I haven't gone live from here ever. Actually, I've uploaded.
My mic just to get better.
The mic has not gotten better, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is it unlisted right now?
How bad is it?
I feel like
less than optimal.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't want to have my.
It's pretty crackly.
Okay.
There's times when it's good, and I feel like you might be doing something different on the times that it's good, but I can't tell. Also, this is definitely unlisted right now, so I have to figure out how to fix that.
All right,
Is Captain Dolphin? Is he on his way?
He should be, yeah.
Okay.
All right, now it's public.
Let me go find it.
Pulling it up on the second computer. I'm leaking my stats page that's completely public knowledge.
Oh, I gotta get there. What are you on Twitch?
Oh, I'm on YouTube.
Ah.
Yeah. I just started streaming on YouTube for, I don't even know what it was, but it was just like I was automatically getting more viewers there. So
Yeah. No, it's really smart.
My stuff a little bit around this person.
I gotta pull up the live chat.
I'm getting an advertisement. Unbelievable.
Yeah, my bad.
All these creators want is money these days.
Sell out. Yep. I'm just doing this for a couple bucks.
I'm gonna close some apps so I can.
All right, I've got 2 pages. I've got this page where it's like got all of us, and then I've got the official draft board where I can go in on my second computer, type all this stuff in, and like if I type in like, let's say, as we've been considering, like Fever is Belleair's first pick, I can type in Fever there, and then it'll come up on the official draft board, which is really sweet. And so I assume we're locking that in now. But yeah. And then I can switch back to this page, just like that. Look at me, learning how OBS scenes work.
Oh, yeah.
It's not my better, by the way.
Sounded pretty good.
Okay. I'll put it with it, settings a bit. So.
It's a bit.
Sounds a touch distant.
Okay, I'll try and go in a bit closer.
It's cool to see the chat and how much crossover there is, Martian, between you and I's.
Yeah.
The same people who watch your videos watch my videos.
Absolutely.
Believe it or not, that fueled into Rocket League. I know that.
I've got the computer that's doing all the streaming stuff that I hopefully don't have to hit many buttons for too many times. I've got the computer where I'm doing all the admin work over here, and then I've got chat over here. So if I'm looking randomly to the side, that means I'm reading chat. But it's probably going to look like I'm looking like 90 degrees away from the camera.
I just touched a random part on my computer. The sun.
Martian's got the chat set up on a computer in his living room.
The do not touch column.
No, it's literally on an iPad.
Hey, the do not touch column, by the way, what's that about?
Oh, that's for me. Because if I like move the window, then it'll like screw up all my OBS scenes. So I can't do that.
Myth just trying to sow chaos. He's like, hey, what's the don't touch thing do?
Also, preferably don't touch things, just in general. So.
Yeah. You know what I thought was kind of a shame, right? That Virtus and SSG are not playing round 1 anymore. And not for the reason you think, because it'd be a free win for SSG. It's, technically, if a match does happen, it's technically, what do you call it?
It's. Are you thinking the treehouse?
It's technically a grudge match.
Yeah, because Sosa was with Scribbles and Reveal before Frosty came in, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Why would keep Frosty, bro? It's like, really? You thought Frosty was going to be better? I guess it's like, it feels an awful one.
I mean, I feel like Sosa probably leveled up this year. He couldn't really find his footing in 2024, but I mean,
The best thing to do about like Vert and Cammy look really better in 8-minute, I think.
all right, I'm turning myth up a
This is
little.
one of those-
Also, by the way, I was going to have my camera on for this one, but due to some limitations, basically, I had to get here quickly, and I'm wearing a shirt with my school's logo on it.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
On the basis that I don't want the oral community finding my school.
I'm wearing a
And
shirt.
I don't want my school finding what this.
I'm wearing a shirt with
Yeah.
my school on it. It's actually not my school, but I am a fan of Duke mainly because I have ties to the area. So, and I chose them over USC. Sorry, Sathu, but
Hate to see it.
Yep.
Hate to see it. Were you a big Christian Leitner was probably before
yeah,
you were following.
yep.
He's before me too.
I remember I was actually very much not a fan of Grayson Allen because I had predicted the Wisconsin versus Duke finals that year, but I predicted
Was that
Wisconsin
Frank
to
the
win it.
Tank?
I can't remember.
Frank Kaminsky was on Wisconsin. I think he was. This is when Grayson Allen was tripping everybody that year.
Yes.
But I cut you off.
Yep. No, but I just remembered him like having that breakout performance in the finals, and like all of a sudden everyone knows who this kid is, and then he's annoying. But it works out because my in-laws are actually like Duke basketball fans since Coach K started coaching the team. So
Wow.
it was just happened to work out that way. I've always really liked them in basketball and football, to be honest. But no.
Yo.
No, Jeff, we haven't started the draft just yet. We're waiting on Dolphin to get here. But
Yo. This is in the shop.
yeah, I figure 1 minute, 30 seconds should be enough time to actually make a pick. Plus, I'm not going to be starting that timer with super urgency because I'll have to like do all the admin work to get everything figured out first. So,
Yeah. I just heard somebody pop into the Discord.
hello.
It might be.
He's got the tie. He's not messing around. It's draft day.
Is he? Let me check.
Let's go. All right.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
locked in.
All right.
Don't worry about me.
It's go time.
Let's get your webcam on here.
I actually have done no prep, so
CD.
I
feel-
have done prep instead of picking based on aura. So I mean,
CD
it was,
web.
actually, no, I have done some.
I would have done
aura.
prep, but unfortunately I was employed this month. So
That is valid.
Yeah, you should quit
Poor
that.
fellow. Poor fellow.
Figure out your priorities.
Yeah, what are you doing? What do you want to like research
I'm
stats for
all-
Rocket League lands rather than
hello.
launch rockets?
real.
To be fair, actually, no, not to be fair. I don't have anything to say. I can
All right, it's scuffed, but it's there. All right, all of our webcams are up.
Myth,
I
is
think I got
your-
the setup.
Myth, is your audio coming from your like device, not from a headset?
It's coming from. It should be coming from my headset. I don't know. Wait, can you someone just like speak repeatedly? 1 second.
Yeah, I'm speaking repeatedly. I can keep talking for. I mean, I get money to talk nowadays, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I could fiddle around the settings a bit more if you want.
We'll see how it rolls. I think there's times when you are still a little bit distant, but most of the time the mic works. So
Okay, I've just changed my thingamabob, so that should be better.
all right, we'll run with it. All proceeds go to the Myth Fund. Yep, we could definitely make that happen. So, all right.
Oh, I do not need to live from man.
Can you donate money on YouTube?
I mean, there's like super chats and
Yeah, I
stuff
think
like
you
that.
can, but you don't have to have like a certain amount of subs to do it.
Yeah, you gotta be like in the partnership program at least. So
You can show your support for Martian Turtle in the chat, at least as I see it.
you technically could, yes.
Yeah.
You can show up to his marriage and give him 50 quid on the day.
Yeah, just show up. That's
Just show up. No, I'm not
I'm sure
doxing
they'd
the
love
location
that.
of this wedding.
Drop the address.
There was one time when Dolphin was like, "Yeah, I'm coming to the wedding. It's happening. I'll figure it out."
Oh, I was there too.
I'm gonna be there.
that's his job. That's what he's been trying to figure out.
Yep. But
Yeah, that's what the rocket's for. He's a big grand entrance.
all right, are you guys ready?
Not this.
Not really.
Let's go.
Not really. All right.
As ready as we're gonna be.
That is fair. So
Yeah.
the way I'm
What's
envisioning this is gonna work. So we know what the draft order is. I sent that in the chat earlier this week. Dolphin's got a whole book. He said he didn't do any research. He's opened a whole book. What are we doing? But
It's just an empty notebook so I can write down.
but I've got
I have
the.
like a half-word document of notes.
Do you guys have this page open? Yeah, you guys do have this page open. Cool. So we've got the fantasy draft thing. I'll type everything in. It'll show up on the stream. I've got 2 different pages. We got this stat sheet. I'll try to like fill in who drafts who on this that we're showing right now, so that we can kind of see where players are going off the board. Everyone who can't be drafted is grayed out. And then along with that, we've got our second page, which is the official draft board. I've got starting formations for us. We can move these around as people get drafted, obviously. These aren't like our locked-in formations just now. And then you got the draft. So that's how we're going to roll. You guys ready?
Yes.
How long do we have per draft? Is there a timer?
Yes, it's going to be over 7 seconds, yes. It's kind of going to be like more than 1 minute 30 seconds because I'm not going to start the 1 minute 30 seconds until I'm done doing all the admin work. So like you'll hear the draft pick, it'll get in, and then the clock will start after I've got everything squared away and we've got them put into a position and everything. So I'm already going to grab a jacket. I will be back in 2 seconds.
Wait, guys, while Martian's gone, try and look at his stat sheet and steal some information.
On you.
What minor change do we make to the sheet just to mess with him whilst it's gone?
Change the name. He comes back the whole
I'm going to swap
stream.
2 players around. I'm going to swap 2 players around. Wait, no, it's view only. No, I can't. I'm going to swap 2 players around.
Oh, I'm sitting way too high. Hold up. Let me tilt my camera. See me.
I was like, man, the Dolphin growth spurt is really hitting.
No, I haven't. I'm. There you go.
All right, I don't know why, but it can get cold in here.
Yeah.
You're cold, bro. I'm.
Cold in Ohio.
It's way
Yeah.
too hot here. I don't know what's up with Ohio, but in
I
Virginia,
can't lie.
it's 90. I think it's 91 today.
That's ridiculous.
What's that in normal temperature?
Normal temperature. It's 3 against 1 in here, bro. You're outnumbered.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's hot. It's hot as heck.
Yeah, it's hot here as well. I can't
It's
lie.
probably around 34ish, to be honest.
Like
TBH.
Celsius.
Yeah, I think that's how it converts. I could be wrong.
Oh damn! Okay, that's way
C2F.
that's much hotter then. It's like 20 here and 40 there.
Yeah, it's 34.4 C.
Boom. Let's go. All right. Now that I know how to do math, let's start this draft.
I'm even engineering.
Yeah, that's how I know how to do math. All right.
Oh, cold. Oh.
So I will go ahead and start the clock, and we've got it in the top corner. You guys can't see the clock, unfortunately, on Discord. That's unfortunate. But Belleair, the clock is running. So
Oh man.
with the first
Who am I
pick of the
gonna
draft,
This is a tough one, guys.
You've
A lot
thought
of
about this,
names-
right? At least
lot
your
of
first
names
pick, you must have
swirling.
thought about it.
Yeah, I might have accidentally just excitedly leaked it into the Discord, and then Martian kindly reached out and was like, "Not yet." My bad. I was amped
Well,
up, guys.
That's the thing about being first pick. It's not like we can do anything about that.
yep.
I'm just trying
Yeah,
to
you know.
better pick. I want you to pick one of my players or not.
Yeah, I hope that this guy isn't on anybody's list. He's kind of a sleeper. In the same way that the Mavericks have essentially already drafted Cooper Flag, you can go ahead and just lock in Raleigh for me. I can put him in any spot. Not only is he pretty conclusively the best player in the world right now in his current form, he's also on arguably the best team that we've seen in several seasons. And furthermore, I feel pretty confident that I can slot him in to quite a few spots on the pitch. So he's dynamic in every way possible. Pretty easy first pick to get off the board. Thank you, Martian, for gifting me that. The unfortunate thing is now, since we're snaking it, I don't have a pick for quite a while. So
Yeah.
interested to see who falls to me.
All right. Do you have a preference on where you want to put him on the pitch just for now? Just so we can slowly
Sure.
fill in this graphic.
Yeah, let me go ahead and just put him. I don't know soccer positional names.
Mhm.
Sorry about that, but I would like to put him in an attacking position.
All right, we'll drop him up here.
That's perfect.
Yeah, this is in no means locked in, by the way, but just to kind of fill out the soccer pitch as we go. So that is Raleigh off the board. Let's see if I can't also do this.
Yeah, look at that.
And then I want to highlight these in, and maybe I'll change my mind about doing this if it takes too long in the future. But
Thank you for informing me, Pyro, that is a center forward.
center forward,
Didn't
striker. I mean, those are basically the same rule or the same role in this. Also, as a heads up, I did change the I did change a little bit of the formation guidelines for this time, mainly in response to the asymmetrical format that CaptainDolphin had. So
What? Oh my god.
I will need to be crossing Raleigh off my list for the top 5. But
This guy, bro.
with
He
that,
doesn't want to see me win.
Dolphin, I believe you are up next, and the clock is running.
Sure. So I have thought about this. I didn't think about any of my other picks, but I definitely want Nupo.
Nupo, okay. Again,
Yeah.
this is the same exact order that we had for the first major. We had Raleigh go off the board first by Myth, and we had Nupo go off the board second from me. So it'll definitely shift
If I was
things
first
up.
pick, I still would have picked Nupo. So I didn't have my eyes really on Raleigh. For
Interesting.
the first round.
Okay. Okay.
The best
Didn't have
player in the
eyes
world
on
doesn't
Raleigh.
equate to the player who's going to do the best. And I actually think in the global rankings, Twisted Minds has moved down, which only means that I think Nupo will be doing more.
All right. All right. And I assume you want to put him on defense?
Oh yeah, that's exact. I was thinking goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper? All right. Let's fill that in.
Oh, did you guys see?
I was actually thinking striker.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
yeah,
can
I
put goalkeeper if you want.
We'll put him
What's
on.
that, Myth?
Can't be Raleigh, so he's not going again. But the lamb.
And then, yeah, so Nupo was definitely a player to keep an eye on. He had 1.06 goals per game in Copenhagen and 1.08 goals per game in Birmingham. So,
Dang.
Yeah, I mean his expected score is like, so I didn't pick him first round last time. I was like, he's only got 1 data point. What if Twisted Minds do bad? But now he's got 2 data points, and I'm sitting there looking at that 3, and I'm like, that's really juicy. I want it.
And it's like, I took him off the board at second last time, so you didn't have the chance technically to get him last
But
year.
I wasn't even thinking about him.
But you weren't. Yeah, I remember you being like, oh, you guys both missed a great pick. And I'm not going to say who that great pick is because I think they're still a great pick. But with that, let's go ahead, reset the clock, and Myth, go for it.
To complete the fabled Holy Trinity, I don't think it's much of a surprise that I'll be going for young Mr. Penn. Can be writing all over. I'm going Zen. I think he's a bit of a statistical beast. I mean, I do feel like I'm a bit mixed on this pick because honestly, I'm kind of depending on Monkey Moon and Exotic to be bad for him because then Zen will step up.
I can't spell.
I mean, if he's dropping like NRG performance to me, it's not. Of course, he was that good, but he didn't get a goal or anything. And that's not going to be amazing. And I will be sticking him on offense as my. I'm going to go. Yeah, straps, just striker. I'm putting striker.
All right.
Nice.
Let me fill in Zen as a striker on Myth's board.
I'll try and speak out.
You're good. I also turned you up a little bit on my end. And then it's taken me a bit of time to do the filling out the Zen parts on this board. I might want to switch which computer my mouse is on.
Myth, have you considered just yelling at us?
You can, what audio percentage do you have him on Discord? Because I have him at 150.
I might have him slightly lower than that.
Oh,
Well, the timer ran out, but you already drafted. All right, I got him at 161 now.
Close to my mic.
Yeah, just put the mic like in your mouth. Just like, as loud as
do that.
possible.
I think it's a quite big mic. I don't think I could fit in my mouth, to be honest.
Hey,
All right.
that sounded better.
Let's. Okay, now the colors are filling out slowly. Okay, cool. Oh, you guys don't have access to this document, but there's a good.
Yeah, you
reason.
should just give us access to that.
I'm not giving you access to the document with all of my planning resources.
I mean, we can see it on stream. It's cool.
No, but there's
Just
like
make it easier.
several pages that are also on here that I'm not opening up, like order, prio, and draft.
Okay, Pyro has to be involved. Okay, Pyro has to be involved. This is no chance.
Yeah,
all right.
This does look pyro-esque. All right, so Martian, you have the back-to-back now? Do you just want to crush us already? And
I have the back-to-back,
show us what's up?
and coming into this, I'll go ahead and start the timer because the timer is rolling. Coming into this, I had a very clear top 5 in terms of the players that I wanted to pick, and it just so works out that 2 of them are identical twins. So with this, I will be drafting Rawas and Kaliers with the 4th and 5th
Wow.
pick.
All right.
And we are going big on Falcons this major, I guess. So
Hey, I think that's a great shout for what it's worth.
I like.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have Falcons 3, and I think a couple other people have Falcons 3.
All right.
Falcons are not good. Well, let's be honest, they're not good.
I don't know if I have
Falcons
them
are not good.
that high, but in
Oh,
terms
they're
of
not good for it.
stats, it's hard to deny the impact that Rawas and Kaliers have had. Rawas is always a steady passer for the team, and Kaliers has been a striker that's getting near 1 goal per game every single major. So couldn't really pass either of them up. I think they'll slot in super nicely.
You know, I went back last night. I went back last night and watched the Saudi E-League final between them and Twisted, and I was immediately jealous of the Naupo pick. Nobu. I'll try and say it how they say it domestically. And he was incredible offensively. That Twisted Minds team defensively, they're like all flat-footed and goal so often. But I started this to say, like, Falcons look really good. They pieced them apart, and it's crazy for a team that's played so many times against one another that Falcons still just find like wide open gaps. I think Falcons are in a great position coming into Raleigh.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, what you were saying about Twisted Minds defense, they're kind of like 3 new gimmicks. You know what I mean? Like that old thing where people would say gimmick is the best offense in the world and Champ 3 defense. I feel like I'm watching them and I'm like, how are we missing that? But I'm also watching them and I'm like, wow, that was an amazing shot. So
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And Naupo does have some awesome defensive stands as well. So he's a great all-around, great pick too. I don't know if I would have had him that high. I think I'm thinking about this exercise. I need to change it up because I'm thinking about it too much as just like pure players, but I need to factor in the fantasy aspect a little more and the points.
Yeah, that was definitely a large part in why I picked Naupo's 2nd pick. It's like, because if he was even close to that 1.06 goals per game, it's like that is 3 points on the board with the way that we're structuring this, and that is like far and away above average for what I would expect a player to get. So definitely had a high priority on him. I'm struggling to find the saves per game for Kaliers and Rawas on here. No, there's Kaliers and Rawas. And then if I make these orange and then I hit Alt-Tab, should pop up. Okay. Slowly filling in the colors. And now that I've done that, I will start the clock. And Myth, you're back up.
All right. Well, what's annoying is that my next pick was going to be Rawas. So, because
Hate to see
I
it.
was actually looking at some stats on the train today, right? I was on the train today, and I thought, I'll check out some stats. And I checked out the stats for Regional 6 in MENA, and let me tell you, bro, from what I didn't watch much of it, right? From the stats, TRK was doing nothing, bro. Those 2 were carrying. So I was going to take one of them, because I do think TRK's form is pretty poor, and I do think Nupo is kind of never coming in, but that's not important right now. But right now, I'm actually going to take a bit of a gamble, right? I'm going to take a gamble on a young, slightly unproven land player who I've noticed in the stats could be creative. This is perhaps my biggest gamble so far. I'm taking a young.
I think I know who it is.
On my team.
Oh, never mind.
Wait, who are we getting?
That's not what I was gonna.
Eugen.
Eugen. All right.
Eugen, wow.
I was not thinking he was going that way either. Okay. Eugen.
When you said a young, unproven rookie, well, I'm not gonna say who I was thinking of, but
Yeah, I'm not saying who I'm thinking of either. But
Yeah.
Eugen
I'm
with
not gonna say Gopher out loud either.
I don't have to fill Eugen in on the sheet at all because he's a land rookie. That makes my life easy. Where are you thinking about
I does not
putting
know
him?
ball. Well, and then apparently you got to understand that. You can't see what I've seen.
I can't tell if we lost someone or if we're losing
I
me.
think we lost. Myth is just making some kind of weird.
Okay.
Like the mic is
He's
going
creating
crazy, so.
techno beats while
All
he's
right.
doing his draft pick.
I mean, we could have used some musical backdrop to this. I know he was suggesting it in the chat for a bit, so I'm glad he's providing us with that. But
Yeah, I'm sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. Do you have a place on the pitch that you want to pencil him in for now?
Center mid. Give me him at
Center mid.
Center mid.
Yep. All right. I was looking
You
at.
don't understand what I've seen, bro. I've looked at some stats, and I think he could go crazy. I think he could be dropping upwards of like 6 points for me if what I've seen comes true.
6 points is a bit wild, but yes, Eugen was very highly rated in the assist category. Let me pull that up from my notes, actually. Eugen online, how many assists per game did he have? I don't know if, oh wait, online Raleigh. Assists per game, Eugen, 0.68 assists per game, which is highest for Gentlemates by 0.1 per game, which is pretty wide margin. And yeah, it doesn't lead the team in goal participation, but 60 isn't bad either. So yeah, Eugen, if it pays off, I respect the pick. But with that, we have gotten to pick number 7. The clock is running. Captain Dolphin, you're back on.
All right, I'm ready. Give me Vatira.
Vatira Instalock. All right.
Yeah.
So Vatira in that somewhere in the assists category, I'm thinking center mid probably.
Center mid. All right.
Vatira's assists at Birmingham were great. His assists online have been great. His assists at 23 Worlds, Copenhagen, and 24 Worlds have all been great. He's 4 lands in a row where he's put up, 0.6-ish assists, and Birmingham is 0.77, which is 0.77. I think that is over 3.0 expected. I think we're all sitting here thinking Carmine Corp is like got a really good chance of going back to back here. So I want Vatira.
All right. Yeah. I feel like Vatira is one of the more confusing stats-wise for Carmine Corp, but probably not the most confusing stats-wise for them. But him at the midfield has been a very consistent leading statistical player for them. So, yeah, makes sense with the Vatira at 7. I got to fill in the fantasy tracker then. If we can go Vati. And, of course, I assume Belleair is taking some time to think about his next 2 picks.
No rush.
Technically, you'll have 3 minutes if you need it, but we haven't really gotten close to needing it with anyone's picks yet. So I assume that might come.
That to the test.
Chat is saying, I'm surprised First Killer hasn't been picked. Daniel and First Killer should be off the board by now.
Interesting. Okay.
Why? Why would they be off the board right now?
Oh wait.
I picked Daniel and First Killer when I could pick Vatira.
Here's the thing as well. It's like I haven't.
Pyro, bro.
I haven't.
I have a vision, man.
So I wish I had an easier way to display this.
Game and you win me entire tournament, bro. And you're
But it is very much based on stats. Like as you can see here, you've got the goals per game, assists per game, saves per game. I don't have this displayed anywhere, but it's like you gain points based on where they are on the pitch, and then like goals per game are multiplied by 3, assists per game are multiplied by 4, and saves per game are multiplied by 1. And so it's like not necessarily the best players are going to be the best in this program. That's why a player like, Napo gets drafted early. There's definitely going to be more instances of this that come up later in the draft. But yeah, without me waffling for too much, let's go ahead. I'll start the clock for the 8th pick. Belleair, go for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the fine line here between picking players that I think are going to do well, but also knowing with the snake that I kind of have to pick players that might be gone by the time that the circle's back to me. With that in mind, I mean, one thing that I'm thinking a lot about is past performance and players that I know are going to give us a pretty good level here at the lane environment, where there's some who might be a little inconsistent once they get onto the stage. I think one of the players I was most impressed by from Birmingham was Lost. So I'd like to lock him in. I just feel like he has a little bit of that extra umph that you want from a player once we get to this stage. I don't think he's going to be afraid of the moment. I think he'll be a great contender. And also, I'm looking at these multipliers. And I think the assist multiplier is pretty crazy. So I'd like to put him in my, I'm assuming that's center mid.
Center mid for Lost. All right.
Yes, please.
Give me 3 seconds to fill out this page here. But yeah, Lost, I mean, we had a large conversation about him last LAN with, you know, his impact up top as well. I know it was an early pick for Dolphin that LAN, and truthfully, although I did watch the top 25 players list that Johnny Boy and company put out last week, I did happen to notice that they didn't really back this up, but I feel like Lost is starting to get more in the positive light than a player like Yen is. I think he might be slightly edging him out as a better player, and I know Myth's been on that train for quite a while.
I think Lost has been better since the start of 2024, and honestly, so surprised to still consider Yan to be better.
Yep.
I get he's like more hype, but still.
All right.
I thought Lost has been better for a long time.
And then I've got to put Lost at center mid here for Belleair. And then I will go ahead and start the clock yet again. For the 9th pick, Belleair is back up.
Yeah, maybe I just, because I'm in this stream of consciousness, I can just lock in my facilitators here, 2 players who I think are going to do a lot of heavy lifting, setting up their teammates. He's kind of flying under the radar just because of what we've seen from him in the past and what we're seeing now. But I'd like to lock in Monkey Moon for my next pick. I think Vitality could have a great event here, and if they're going to, I think Monkey is the connective tissue to really get Zen and Exotic going on the offensive end.
All right, so Monkey Moon is the 9th pick for the draft. I think he was drafted 7th last time, so falls 2 spots, but still definitely...
I picked him in that 2nd round, yeah.
Yep, definitely still a high-impact performer in stats. Belleair, where are you thinking about placing him?
I'd like to put him... which one is me? I see Raleigh and Lost there. Are all of those mid positions, are they all the same multiplier for assists per game?
Yes, and technically this formation can be moved around afterwards, but left mid, center mid, right mid are all just straight up assists times 4.
I'd love to put him anywhere within that midline, please.
All right, let's add him right next to Lost then. All right, and then I will... Nope, not that button. Let's go to here. All right, now that I got us back up, we are to the 10th pick of the draft. It has wrapped back around to Captain Dolphin. I'll go ahead and start the clock.
All right. I'm doing some thinking. I don't know how obvious it is from my face cam, but I just got a huge TV and it's mounted right behind my laptop. So I'm kind of like arcing my neck up at this like big thing.
We're looking up at the screens. I respect it.
Some numbers, looking around at the last draft, looking around at the players I can pick.
Rackies is harsh on Monkey Moon right now.
Monkey Moon, I mean, you'll be good at Worlds. I can guarantee you that. I'm picking out everyone from the Dolphin that comes to Worlds.
I'm trying to see who hasn't been touched yet. So NRG.
Wait, yeah, no NRG off the board yet.
No Space Station. They're kind of a bundle.
Yeah, Space Station's a big question mark, right?
Yeah.
I have an idea of that.
I'm going to start to try to fill in. Not a single North American player has been picked yet.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
There's a lot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, the 2 Falcons players stuff. All right. Technically, Dolphin, we got 4 seconds for you.
I think it's time to break that. I think I'm gonna grab first killer.
First killer with the
There it
10th
is.
pick of the draft. Those are your 2 favorite
My,
players
my
going
formation
back to
isn't
back.
locked yet.
No, it is
My
not.
formation isn't
Yeah.
locked yet. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. I'm not sure. I'm looking at how they were playing at Birmingham, and I'm thinking first killer was a lot more on the defensive side that time while he was letting LJ play. But then we're looking at the online split, and first killer was a lot more goals and a lot less on the back end. So I don't know yet. I think I'll leave him in the back for now,
All right.
but I'm probably gonna move him.
I'll throw him at center back for now. Also, you don't have to go with a 4-4-2, of course, either. That's just what I've picked as a default.
It just
for
has to be
everyone.
symmetrical.
So it just has to be symmetrical, and it has to There's
I can't
the
believe you actually made that rule just to make
yes, absolutely.
just because I was being innovative.
But no, there's on the parameters page of this document. If you scroll down
No,
a little
I see
bit,
it. I see
okay.
it.
So and there's also the 2 required center backs, which I don't think was a problem for anyone last time. But yep, all right. So first killer off the board for now. I can go ahead and alt 9, and let's fill him out here. Myth, I hope you're thinking about the next pick that you have, because you would be.
I'm annoyed that my next pick has literally just been grabbed before I went second time. So.
Oh, we love that. I love the snipe.
Dude, the amount of times I got
To be fair,
sniped
I wasn't
last
expecting-
draft.
To be honest, I feel like I kind of messed up by going Eugen, but early on. But
I
hey,
do think
we
that
went
probably Eugen is probably a round 5 or round 6 kind of pick, not a round 2. But hey,
Okay, now
if
trust
you don't
me,
want to
bro,
win,
you've got
that's
3
fine for me,
assists
bro.
here. Nah.
What's up, Wade?
Actually, look at stats this time. Last time I didn't look at a single stat. I have my player in mind, though.
All right, the clock is running officially.
Give me the big toe. Give me Atto.
Atto at
toe.
11. I know you picked him up.
He's a KC
Wow.
player. I expect KC to win this land. He's good, of course. He's Atto. I don't have much more to say. I think I'm going to be sticking him at.
Here's my
I'll stick him-
question about so I'm looking at. Oh, you go.
Yeah, his stat profile is very strange.
Yeah, sorry, I missed if you said a place where you want to put him on the pitch.
That's the thing. He's a very hard guy to tell where to put him. But I think I'm going to be sticking him. Wait, sorry. Let me just check the image again. I'm going to check him at. Okay, I honestly think that last split, Atta was the second best on KC, right? For this split, I do think he's the worst from the hero. I think I'm going to go with him left
Left back or left wing?
left back.
Or I guess you don't have a left wing technically. You got a left mid. All right, let's fill that in then.
Centre back or left back? Wait, it's anything different. No, but it's left back.
Left back. All right. Those do have slightly different stats. The left backs have a 20%.
That's what I was checking.
Yep. Left backs have 20% in assists and 80% in goals.
Aren't really taken into account there.
Yeah, Kofor would have been off the board instantly. It would have been funny. Where is Attow in saves per game at Worlds? Very low.
Yeah, but he was all of KC are very close to each other, and I noticed that this split.
And his saves per game at Birmingham was actually the lowest on Carmine Corp. So
Yeah, but if he was still top 4, that just goes to show how good KC's defense is.
All right, and then
he was top 4 what?
I have Attow filled out. Nice.
Top 4 in saves per
Saves per game at Belleair? I don't think so.
No, per against the Birmingham. The Tier 1 lost to Raleigh 3 out of 4.
All right. We have gotten to pick 12 and 13. The two players that I was hoping would be available at 12. Actually, there were 3 players I was hoping I'd get to at least have 2 of at 12 and 13. And all 3 of them are still on the board. And so I got to make a decision. And
Sound like T-Bates.
And this is...
I'm going to make a decision.
I am going to make a decision. I see in the chat, and I'm not going to let this influence me, but I see in the chat that Pyro has said that Scribbles should be off the board soon. And he's a player that I have been looking at with a 2.71 saves per game online in North America. Clearly the defensive leader for Space Station Gaming. I think if he gets anywhere close to replicating this on LAN, that's a shoo-in for goalkeeper. With the 12th pick, I am grabbing Scribbles from Space Station Gaming.
Keeping sniped, bro. What is this?
And so
I respect that. I respect that.
I will be, that's one. I'm going to go ahead and throw him in net because, where else am I going to put him on the pitch? So, Scribbles, for now, I'm very happy to announce as my goalkeeper. And there's less admin work to do with Scribbles because he has not been to a land yet. And so I'm going to go ahead, run the clock again, and submit the 13th pick. And I'm actually between players for this one, honestly. Because there's 2 I like. And at this point, I'm thinking which one is more likely to fall to number 20. Because that's a long time to wait. And truthfully, I know how Belleair thinks. I saw who he picked up. I think it was like in the 16th-ish spot. I don't think he had 16th. Maybe he was with the 20th pick, actually. But I'm not going to let him fall this far at that time. There's a player who's known for his striking ability, even if he isn't the greatest or on one of the greatest teams. And he was recently placed as number 5 on T-Bates' top 25 list for the major.
Oh my god.
I'm going with Banana Head. This dude is bound to score some goals, and it's just hard to ignore his impact up top. So we'll be putting Banana Head as my striker. I've currently got the 4-2-3-1 formation. I will probably be changing that. But Banana Head will be going off the board with the 13th pick.
Great pick. I was a little disappointed by his performance in Birmingham, but I agree that he's an incredible striker.
Yeah, it was obviously a bummer to see Wildcard go out 1-3, especially from their perspective, but he still got 0.94 goals per game during those series. And so even with like an underwhelming performance from the team, he's still statistically a leader in goals per game for the event. So really hard to ignore that stat. And right now I've got him slotted in as a striker.
Also, if you want a little extra juice behind your pick, new season obviously just started, season 19. He's already top 100, 174 ranked twos games played. So he's coming in ready to roll.
Yeah, this dude is absolutely on the grind. Let's switch back to this page here. Let it load in. I've got 2 of my players off. I guess another reason why I picked Banana Head there as well is because looking at my board for the top 7 attackers, all of them are gone now. So definitely wanted someone with more impact in the goals per game department. But enough waffling from me. I'll go ahead and start the clock. And with the 14th pick, Myth's back.
All right, I'll be honest. I've been kind of panicking, searching through some direct sheets right now. As I've kind of realised I've messed up a little bit with my alpha, but I'm going to have to move that around. But hey, here we are. I've realised I kind of misread a stat profile, so I can move that around in post. But so I've kind of been panicking with some direct sheets, and I think I'm confident here, but I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to lock in. Give me Daniel.
Daniel at number 14. I know Dolphin was saying.
Okay.
It was Dolphin that was saying he's surprised at not. Oh, I think you were reading chat. But
no,
yeah,
I was reading chat, and then I said, "Why would I pick Dolphin? Why would I pick Daniel when I could have picked Nupo?"
Oh yeah. Yep. All right. So there's Daniel.
I just sent a photo of my battle station.
I
don't know if it went through.
Myth, where are you slotting in Daniel for now?
I think I'm gonna stick him in. I think I'm gonna stick him right mid, right center, so right winger.
Okay, so like right mid or right wing. I can move this guy up if you want me to.
Right, no, right mid. Sorry.
Right mid.
No,
Okay.
wait, no, sorry. No, center attacking mid. So I'm not used to these.
Got it.
I
Okay.
don't use these.
I'll throw Eugen a bit back here then. Throw this guy up here, and then Daniel here.
Okay, can we take a minute to appreciate the image that Dolphin has just posted in the general chat, which is insane.
I cannot see the Discord right now. I don't know if I'd be able to pull. Oh, I could. Pull it up on my phone.
Martians will melt his setup.
I will probably. That is a massive television. All right, are you cool if I show that to the stream just from my phone?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I got to go back to this board, but this is the Captain Dolphin setup right now. Let's move it in front of the camera. So that's how we do draft days here in North America.
That's a huge TV.
All right, and now I'll fill out Daniel while we give Dolphin a chance to think about his next pick.
Yeah, no rush, no rush.
Wish you guys could see this part of it. I am doing work. It'll pop up. Don't worry. Those are in red. Close out of that. Then we hit Alt-Tab on here so that it pops up. And then the clock can start. Captain Dolphin, it's all you.
All right. You know, now that we have a lot more locked down rules for where players, you know, where positions have to be, and you're looking at the parameters of the draft, and it's mostly locked into that, like, it says 3 to 5 in the range of defensive players. So you're looking more at, like, you know, in my original plan here was to roll, like my last draft, I had rolled a lot of assist players and as many, I maxed out assists and strikers as I could, but this time, you know, I can only get, how many, like 5 total. Like only half of my roster can be on the front side and half has to be in the back. So you got to look at defensive players here, and I'm gonna go with Cheese.
Cheese at from 15.
I know it might be a really high pick when you think about, is Cheese the 15th best player this land? Not even close. But I'm looking at his stats. I'm looking at Copenhagen. I'm looking at Birmingham. I'm looking at online split. He's been the most defensive player for Gen G every single way that you can possibly look at him and this roster. I'm looking at Cheese and I'm like, that's who I want to keep in my back. And I'm not sure if it's gonna be my goalkeeper yet, but I definitely want him to be somewhere in that center back area. So
all right, I'll let the clock expire.
Chat is rolling with Cheese. Chat's rolling with Cheese.
Chat likes the Cheese. I honestly like it too. He's definitely a higher priority. I think I've actually got him as one of the players I wanted to grab at 20. So not surprised he doesn't fall that far.
Okay, good. I like this.
But yeah, the Cheese pickup, definitely a respectable move. I remember we had this conversation when Belleair picked Cheese. It was around this place for Birmingham. And we were wondering, like, where on the pitch is Belleair going to put Cheese? And, like, Dolphin and I are talking back and forth. We think this dude has to be on defense, right? And then Belleair is like, he looks like a good offensive option. And then he ended up slotting him in the midfield, while Cheese ended up underperforming in the midfield and overperforming in both offense and defense. I think he would have been best suited to be on offense that LAN, which just so happened that Belleair's logic was right, and then he didn't end up finding space for him up top. But yeah, definitely a solid pick.
Cheese was actually, I'm looking at the stats.
Yeah.
Cheese was the worst player that anyone drafted. He's 1.0. So
was there not a 0.67 player?
No,
I might be mistaken.
I don't see any players below 1.0.
Okay. I might be
We've
wrong
seen
about
Cheese
that.
at 1.0 with 5 assists in 20 games. So
Wait, let's. I've definitely got a sheet that can find this. Birmingham. That is a complicated sheet, but it's sorted the right way. Oh, never mind. I didn't. I'm looking for something different. Okay.
Chad, I'm curious, who has more ball knowledge, first touch or chalked cast? I think
We're gonna start a war in
I
chat in
actually
the
think-
meantime.
Daz has a lot of
I
ball
would
knowledge.
say us, but I would say us. One of us is holding his back. I can't lie.
Didn't you get 4th place in the last time we did this?
Yes,
I don't know
but
why Martin's laughing. I was sitting he was him.
he made a better team than I did when I actually looked at the stats based on the players. So he's still bragging about that.
My players, I made a better team. Well, no look at the stats. That's probably the Yosemite but
It's because I put Oli at right back. I should not have done that.
I should probably change.
Sure.
Is any chance I could get my picture on the thing changed to the little picture I made?
Can we do it for next time?
Okay, yeah. I'll just send you a chat. It's a
Yeah,
really good
Martian's
picture.
too
All right.
nervous
I'm
to
proud of
touch the setup.
All right. With that though, we're ready to
That's
keep
right.
rolling with the 16th pick. Belleair, go for it.
Yeah, beast mode's fallen too far, so I like to go ahead and take him.
All right. Beast mode insta lock.
I think
If there wasn't restrictions on the locations of players, I was picking beast mode next. I just want to be known.
That's fair.
I
That's
would have
fair.
won him in the offensive area, but I got to be smart about my picks because last time I made too many front side picks and then I was kind of filling up with Mata and some guys that were kind of dragging me down a little at the
Dude,
end there. So.
Remember when we were like so hyped to get Fiber and Hunter, and then they just statistically were terrible for us? I remember
Yeah,
talking about that. We're like,
Fiber
oh, these
actually
guys
kind
are going to
of-
be great on defense, and it was just nothing.
Unlucky.
Yep.
Yeah, my fiber was worth 1.45 and your fiber was worth 1.37. So
Yep. All right. So Belleair with, I got to go ahead and show the draft page as well. Beast mode. I assume. Actually, I shouldn't assume. Where do you want him on the pitch?
No, you're probably assuming correctly. I'd like to put him as a striker next to Raleigh.
All right. Let's fill him in there.
Have you guys seen the numbers for NRG? Because our big takeaway
I have seen the numbers from NRG.
from Birmingham was like, oh, elite defensively, but the offense is a little shoddy here and there, and that led to the whole Sathu piece of this, where he comes out and he's like, we're not a bad offensive team. I think the thing that we were all thinking wasn't that they were a bad offensive team or that they were a defensive team, rather that their offense had kind of hit a hurdle that they couldn't get over. And now they come out, NRG, leading North America in shots per game. They're one of 6 teams that are over 10 shots per game this split, which is crazy. They're the only ones from NA or EU. And Beast Mode has taken a huge leap. He's up to almost a goal per game. And also a player that I trust in a LAN environment. So I think they're one of the favorites heading in here. So I'm going to go ahead and take him.
All right.
And
I'll go ahead and start the clock for 17 then.
great. Yeah, I wanted to get my full minute 30 to just talk about beast modes.
Yep.
And then I feel like there's going to be some good defenders that I can take later in the draft. I'm trying to grab some commodities right now. I mean, Pyro, that's a great shout with Atomic. He was an elite facilitator in Birmingham, especially.
For the record, we're talking about Atomic with a K and not Atomic
Thank you
with a
very
C,
much.
because
Yeah.
they're still both on the board.
Wasn't Atomic with a K #1 in assists per game for Birmingham, I think?
He might have been.
Um,
He was pretty high. Let's see.
I
don't
can
have
check
page.
that real fast for you.
I mean, I got the page right in front of me.
Number 1 was Sphinx. Sphinx
Yes.
with a 1.0. So
Yeah.
But
assists
Atomic
per-
did have the 0.96. So
You know what I'm going to go ahead and do? I'm going to go ahead and grab another Swiss Army knife here. I can plug them into a couple of spots. Could I please take apparently Jack, and I'll figure it out.
apparently Jack. That is the second draft in a row that you have picked apparently Jack. What's your confidence level in him this time rather than your confidence compared to your confidence level in him for the last draft?
Higher. I think they look better domestically. as we've seen, not only from the seeding, but like I feel like they've really taken it to some teams. When you watch them, they're the best team to watch on the crowd cam because you can. It's like, oh, I see what this team is trying to do. And also, I think it was good to go out in round 5 in Birmingham when you look like full picture, because that's a good moment for Stizzy to be like, okay, like we know that there's another level we can elevate to here. I think this is the time they do it, and I think Jack is the catalyst for that.
All right. Any preference on where you want to put him on the pitch for now?
Yeah, let me just let me toss him into one of those back positions, and I'll do a little massaging of my roster once we get closer.
All right, we'll throw him at center back for now.
Perfect.
It's almost as long as the thing. All right. And then once that fills in on there, I'll go ahead and switch back to the stats page. And then that is 17 off the board. We are back to pick 18 in Captain Dolphin.
All right, I'm ready to insta-lock another player. Give me Fever here.
Fever.
You don't have to
18.
stop the timer yet. I just want to keep talking.
All right.
Some looking at some players that were, in my head, like it weren't really on my radar last time. And I was like, when Martian picks Fever, I was like, that feels like kind of a waste of a pick to me. But Fever was actually really good in the defense. You very clearly have Banana Head up in the front doing the striking, and you very clearly have Fever in the back doing the defending, and you very clearly have Torsauce doing nothing. So that's kind of how Wildcard rolls. And they could go 1 and 3 again, and I still think he will put up probably close to. He's put up in the last 4 lands basically 2.0 on saves every time. So, if this is my tentative pick for goalkeeper, but I again might move that around. I'm gonna leave him there for now. I think
All right.
he's gonna be strong.
I'll go ahead.
When I had tweeted about jokingly picking Banana Head first in this draft, Adam Baguette slid into the tweet, and he was like, "You gotta pick Fever first from OCE," and I was like, "Huh, interesting. I didn't consider Fever."
Yeah, Fever definitely. I think I had him slotted in as a defensive mid or a left back last time.
If you had grabbed him
go for
for like center back, I think he would have been great. I think having him more on the assists is actually not that helpful because he doesn't really do as much in that area.
While I think that's like consistently been a trend, he hasn't done that much. It was actually really beneficial for Birmingham because he had a 0.94 assists per game. So it really ended
I
up
did not see that. Well,
working out for me then.
okay.
But it's definitely not like
Big ups.
a stat that you want to rely on. I think I did have him at a right back or a left back position.
Okay.
Also, want to shout out Fishy Sauce's membership renewed earlier in the chat, so I want to give him a shout out. And then Vals is back with another membership. Appreciate the support, guys. And then
Who's Fishy Sauce?
Fishy
I don't
Sauce.
see that one.
It was a while back. I missed it, but I haven't seen him show up in the chat yet today. Aside from that, so. With that being said, we're to pick number 19, and Myth is back on the board.
All right. Well, whilst I quickly argue with Pyro in chat about TRK, I'm going to be picking someone I'm amazed hasn't gone yet. Actually, someone I've just noticed kind of went a bit crazy in one stat. I'm going to be picking Jan. I'm going to put him at left mid.
Yan at left mid.
I respect that.
Crazy Yan's still on the board.
Yeah. So Yan was the pick. Yan was the pick I picked up at 10 and was like immediately regretting it last draft. And then he was the second highest performer, I believe, of the entire event, putting him at defensive mid. This dude is a lethal facilitator for Furia. And I think the hesitancy I had last time is that his assists at Worlds weren't the best. And I was worried about that downward trend. But then he impressed with a 0.9 assists per game. And also was very high on the saves per game leaderboard as well. So not a bad shot to get Yan at 19. I think that's a really good value pick.
You know what makes me nervous about Yan is like the culmination of this, because Furia is almost certainly going to be a top 8, top 6 contender, if not higher. And I feel like Yan kind of takes a dip historically speaking, once you get into those land best of sevens, of course, there's the moist shot that he hit, but that was back when it was Kaio and Card. That's like Kyrie Irving being like he hit the shot against the Warriors. It's like, well, that was years ago. I don't know. Yan's
I don't think that's used like an example of great down performance. Honestly, aside from that moment, he was kind of cheats that series.
I can't tell.
What? Yan on Fury against Moist? You said he wasn't good that series?
That's okay. Aside from the shots he hit, I honestly think like Kyle was playing really well.
Kyle
Yeah.
was playing well that series.
I think no. Okay, look, I was there.
I don't think you.
I watched them, and the crowd every single time Yan would do anything, the crowd was so insane. They were all like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" I don't know, man.
He's
Yeah,
so
well,
scary on the
I
ball.
think declared the GOAT as calming.
Yeah, Yan had so much aura at this time. After his spring major 1v3 against Optic, I think he was like, everyone was like, we must bow down to our new overlord.
Bro, you beat Illusion, bro. That's not
It doesn't matter
He's a
about who it
real
was. He's
team.
1v3 against a pro team. He's 1v3 against a pro team.
All right, to get back on topic, Myth, where you said right mid for Yan?
Left or right mid?
Left or right mid? Okay. All right. And then I'll go ahead and pull this one back up. And I am back on the clock with the 20th pick. I mentioned that one of my 20 hopefuls has been taken off the board. And I got to look at my team
that Fever?
as well. I'm glad I picked up Banana Head. No, it was Cheese. It was Cheese. I feel like Fever should have been higher on my board, but he wasn't. But right now, I've got... Let's see. I've got 2 attackers with Clears and Banana Head. We've got our goalkeeper and Scribbles. I want to bolster the midfield a little bit. And truthfully, the 2 players that I'm looking at that I want to invest in, they might not make a lot of sense. But I'm feeling it. Sorry, Pyro, it's not going to be Atomic. But with the 20th pick, this is a player I was hoping to get at 12-13. He has fallen to the 20th pick. And it still might be out of left field. I'm going to be picking up Sphinx.
Nice.
Wow.
So this
Okay.
dude got 1 assist per game, and 1 assist per game at Birmingham. He was above average in assists per game back at Copenhagen as well. I like the trend of him. I don't think he'll continue to go up above 1 assist per game, but it's hard to deny that he has a good impact in the midfield, and I'm going to take a chance. So we'll go with Sphinx. I got to get out of this 4-2-3-1 desperately, because these are not where I want these players
I think
to be.
when you're looking at a play in the around 20 to 25, I think there are probably a lot of taking a big chance here kind of players. Like this is kind of where people start thinking like, hey, how about these rookies that haven't played? How about these players that maybe have not been looking so good? Like it was really obvious that Zen and Nupo and Rawas were gonna all go in that first 10, right?
Yeah.
But now, and I feel like we kind of know that once you get to about 35, we're kind of picking up the
Lost Dolphin there for a minute.
scraps. And but in this like 20 to 28 is probably like where people are starting to
I can't tell if we're losing Dolphin or me.
like you will make a pick,
Yeah, he's going in
Yeah,
and out for me
he's-
too.
Okay.
and then I would be like, wow, I wasn't even thinking about that player. So, am I
Yeah.
good? Am I back? Oh man,
You're back.
all good.
Kind
all
of.
good?
You're in and out.
Okay, cool.
We caught
Anyway,
most of
You're
it.
good now, I think.
Oh man. Okay, well, mostly just this is the time to be making like interesting picks. Is this range?
Yep.
20 to 25, maybe 28.
There's 2 players on the board that are also in the midfield category that I'm really looking at. And I don't know, because the player I wanted to get at 2021 is available, but I guess I just wasn't thinking these 2 players were going to be available as well. I'm going to go with my gut. Oh, do I actually want to, though? You know what? Give me the bear. Give me the bear.
Whoa,
yeah.
the bear.
Chat's gonna love it.
Okay, fair enough. I was eyeing Magic there. For a bit.
Give me the bear.
But the thing
there's
about the Bear is, where are you gonna put him?
we'll put him in the midfield.
Yeah, I was really happy with.
he's-
Yeah, that's where he's meant to be.
Yeah.
I was really happy with him last time. I got him
honestly.
third to last, I think, and he was definitely value pick at that range.
All right, let's go center mid.
Honestly, quick side tangent about Gen G, right? It's just me, it's Justin really not look that good to me. It doesn't look very good to me.
I'm a
The
big
structure
Justin
of
guy,
Gen
so I
G's
don't know if I can meet
Oh,
you there,
okay.
but I hear you. Go ahead, Dolphin.
The structure of Gen G's playstyle doesn't need for Justin to be, 2019 Justin. Like, he doesn't need to be the guy that's doing everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not expecting him to like be dropping, carrying half and 2 piece numbers or like from Justin, and it just hasn't like impressed me even in the role he's in. Like, I feel like if anything, it's just him joining his own Magic Bear and Cheese look amazing individually, both.
All right. I gotta fill
Yeah,
in.
Magic Bear and Cheese have looked amazing, which I think is actually. I think Reddles is dragging them down a little bit.
It's a mental thing. Like, I mean,
Magic Bear Sphinx. I can go ahead. I've got that figured out. So I'll
Magic
go ahead
Bear
and switch back to
Sphinx.
this
Okay.
page.
I don't think either of those two were in the next. Like, I was not upset about either of those going off the board. But
All
I do
right.
like. I think those are good picks.
Magic Bear at
Fine.
Copenhagen. 0.68 assists per game. At Birmingham, 0.60 assists per game. So, definitely eyeing him
Yeah,
in the midfield. And then Sphinx, I've
And
talked
Boston
about too.
0.54 if that matters to you.
And oh wait, Magic Bear in Boston. I forgot about that too. I've only had open era stats on my, or not open era, blast era stats.
Boston is open era.
Yeah, I meant blast.
Oh, blast era.
Yeah. All right, and then I will go ahead.
I have mine go back
it's
to
on-
22, 23 Worlds
All right. Yeah.
in
that-
Boston and San Diego.
Okay.
And LA.
let's go ahead and start the clock for. I believe we're back to Captain Dolphin. No, we're back to Myth. Okay.
You. You. Yeah. You.
All right.
Okay, I was gonna say I'm not ready.
Myth. The clock is running.
this one, I dedicated to the guy who's been shit talking me in chat the whole time, Mr. Pyro. You're welcome, buddy. Give me EU Atomic.
EU Atomic or Mina Atomic, as it
EU
also
Atomic.
stands.
Oh yeah.
Spanish Atomic.
Spanish
Spanish
Atomic.
Atomic.
Whatever. I'll be putting him. Let me just quickly check. Wait, which mids do I have Yan at? Just put him in the other one.
All right. I will put him in the other midfield. He will be in the left midfield for now then. Nope, that's the guy I drafted. Atomic. All right. So Atomic midfield
Do you have
last
anything you
event.
want to tell us about that pick?
Well, basically, I thought Parry yapping along like he does. Check the stats, and he was actually like, he was second in assists per game at Birmingham. And looking at what, and from the Mina I watched, Rise has been on like a downwards turn. I mean, it's kind of evident Rise has been on a downwards trend. Like, he looked even worse online in Mina from admittedly the not huge amounts I managed to catch. It was kind of just the Atomic and Nupo show. I mean, well, it's a Nupo show with occasional guest appearances from Atomic. But yeah, Atomic has been really good assist-wise. So, yes, I'm going to be grabbing Atomic.
All right. We've got we're halfway through the draft now. We've got pick number 23 on the board. That goes to Captain Dolphin, and the clock will start now. I can't tell if he's frozen on the webcams or not. It's so small for me.
It's complete silence.
Looking in his corner. Bro,
He's looking at the TV. I can tell that.
there's something crazy going on in his corner.
Locked in.
You're Dolphin, you here, bro?
I don't know if we're being had or if we lost him.
I think we might have lost him.
Oh god. Well,
right,
okay,
we'll
I'll
just-
just have to pick him then. I'm gonna be I'll have to pick for him, then. I'm going to pick LJ for assists for Captain Dolphin. Don't mind me in.
You can move the player though. If we're gonna pick for him, we can't be picking LJ. Let's pick him like Kaka or something like that.
Yeah.
Assists-wise,
Just
Like-
slot in. Just give him Leoro.
Torsos. Now Leoro's got some upside. Torsos, I don't know if he has any statistical upside. Unfortunately for him, he's got some upside against Carmine Core, but they're not playing him.
I don't know if
demos somehow. Give him TRK. TRK's been a bum so far.
But we'll give him a bit to.
TRK's a bomb.
I see he's logged out of the dock as well.
Can
Oh, we
you
got
hear
him back.
me?
We got him back.
Can
All
you hear
right.
me?
You had 4 seconds left
Okay.
on the clock,
All
so I'm
right.
resetting it for you.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I don't know what my Wi-Fi is doing something weird. It says I have like all the bars, but I was trying to talk. I couldn't see anything. The stream was frozen, so I was like, well, clearly something's wrong.
Yeah, your laptop
my
was
bad,
saying you
guys.
had all the bars,
Hey,
and we heard no
don't
bars
DQ
from
me.
you. So.
Don't DQ me, Ted. Don't DQ me.
We were going to give you some shit to like penalize you for this, but hey.
All right.
So I have spent my frozen time thinking about my player, and I'm gonna go with a player that last time I was really hesitant to grab this player. I had a pick before Martian, and I was like, should I grab this player? I'm not sure. They're a land rookie. They kind of scare me. I'm gonna go with a more safe player. And last time, I went with VK Stadlin, but this time I'm actually gonna go with Torres.
He's going Torres 23.
I know that this is so early to be picking a player of his ability. He's probably bottom 6 in the land when you're looking at skill, but he was so strong.
Like,
If I had actually gone back that last time, if I had picked Torres instead of VK Stella, that 0.2 swing, take away 0.2 from Martian and add 0.2 to mine, I actually would have won. So
That's true.
That was like, I was thinking, I actually, that kept me up one night. I was like, oh man, like I should have just gone with the player that looked like statistically better, but I was just kind of too scared, and I know I need to play a little differently and a little more aggressive this time if I actually want to take the win. So I'm looking at Cheese Fever Torres as my defensive structure in the back, and I'm like, that's looking good to me. So I'm probably gonna move First Killer out of there.
All right.
Dolphin chasing the dragon, the player who burned him last time.
So
Yep.
how are we doing this then? First Killer moving up the pitch.
Yes.
All right. How far
I'm
generally?
in the midfield for now.
Midfield
Just
for
in the
now.
mid. Just in the mid
Alright.
for now.
And then Torres, do you want him as a
I think like. Yeah, center back.
center back? Okay. All right, we'll do that for
I
now.
think like we talked about last time. I don't remember who it was. Belleair said someone was their Swiss Army knife. I don't remember which player that was. It was a player that you
Jack,
just picked
my
recently.
knife.
So yeah, Jack is your Swiss Army knife, and I think First Killer is kind of like that, where you're looking at him as someone who's putting up stats everywhere, so he can move around. But Torres has to be in the back. Cheese has to be in the back, so those players are pretty locked where they're gonna sit.
All right. That brings us back to pick number 24, and it's a doubleheader here for Belleair.
Yeah, you guys have given me too much time because now I've filled my head with too many options of where I can go with this one. See, there's a bunch of players that I kind of have shot myself in the foot a little bit because there's a bunch of players that I want, but I'm already so top heavy offensively that I almost have to go further down my list in order to fill out my roster in a sustainable way. What I was doing in the interim was I was looking at my projections. Shout out to Cody VRL for his prediction sheet. And I have Team Secret going up against a lot of teams that are going to light them up, take a lot of shots against them. So I'm going to go ahead and nab KV1. Lower on my list is like a player, but I think statistically with how I have this playing out, I think he'll slot in very nicely into one of those center back positions because I definitely need some more players around there.
That was my sleep. But I'll tell you right now, I was going to do my sleeper pick.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Didn't
gonna do
have
my-
KV1,
everyone's
okay.
gonna pop off.
not a ton of assists in Birmingham, but I think that's a little bit of an outlier for him. I think Secret's going to come back looking a little better here, even though if I don't have them making it much further in the tournament this time around. And where am I going to go next?
Whereabouts are you putting him on the pitch again?
In one of the back positions, not
Alright.
goalie.
All right, we'll throw him center back
Back
for now
position.
then.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And
All right, and then
I mean, yeah,
25
there's some
on the
players
clock.
bouncing around. I'm trying to think of where I want to go with this one. I mean, the SSG guys are just staring at me, but I don't know. It's tough to parse out how I feel like they're going to perform here. They're a bundle. The team is so good, but I don't really know who is the standout. Scribbles defensively feels like the one that leaps off the list there. Stizzy obviously deserves a shout here as well. Let me quit stalling and just pick somebody already.
You have 30 seconds, I think.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, my clock still says over 45, so now it's
Okay,
at 45.
alright.
But
If you could update me every 5 seconds just so
40.
I'm fully abreast.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You know what? Give me a team that I'm looking at Dig, but you know what? Let me just I'll be upset with myself if I don't take this player and they do incredible. Give me Kofor if he's still on the board. I think he is.
Kofor, wow,
Yeah.
wow, Kofor at 25. Whew.
Man,
Yeah.
I was actually sitting there like, I'm having Kofor next. I'm so sure of it. That's so annoying, man.
Oh no.
I feel like I manifested getting sniped. I'm just sitting there and staring at my monitor like this, looking at Kofor stats. I'm like, that's looking so good.
Oh man.
Mentally, I was teetering between Kofor and Stizzy, just because I think they're both dynamic. But I already grabbed Jack, so I don't want to double dip too much this early. So yeah, if I could put him at like Kofor, feel like more of a left mid or a right mid kind of guy.
Left mid.
I'll put him left mid.
All right. And keep in mind, you can definitely move these players if you want them more on offense. Like we can move them to a wing or
Nice.
something like that. So,
Okay, thank you.
but yeah, just for the graphic purposes, wanted to at least get them on there. Kofor, I don't have to fill anything out on here, which is nice. We go back to this page.
Yeah, unfortunately, demos does not factor in statistically here. To Monkey's point.
So I did.
Right. What is he, 4.0 demos per game or something?
It's
like
wild. It's insane. We're doing the soccer version. I did think up a Quidditch version where it'd be like 7 players per team, and then you could do like goals, assists, saves. Demos would be like the bludgeoners. I was thinking the seekers would be like overtime goals, but it ended up being just very imbalanced, and like whoever gets the most overtime goals wins it all. So if you get a towel with the first overall pick, you're just winning the game. But yeah, that would have been fun to explore how demos play in, because that's an area where Torsauce does lead statistically, so he could have been an actual likely draft pick there. But with that, Dolphin, hopefully I've stalled enough for you to think up a new 26th pick as you are on the clock.
I've got another minute 30, right?
You got a minute 30.
I've got a minute.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Man, I was so excited to get Kofor there. That sucks. The draft giveth and the draft taketh away, right?
The draft
That's how it goes.
normally taketh, though.
Normally taketh.
Normally taketh.
Dolphin, this is never mind. I was gonna ask for permissions, but that's okay. Because I was gonna update your on the draft, like the board, like the draftable players.
Oh, if you want to update that, go for it. Yeah, I haven't been able to keep up with that.
I don't know if I can. I don't think I have permissions. But if it takes away from your
Do you know?
setup, don't worry about it.
I think you might.
No, we're all view only. Can't we?
Really? It's lame. All
Yeah,
right.
we're all view only, which I think is fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll throw you.
Yeah, I say leave it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
All right. We got some Catalysm campaigners in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Was Catalysm? He was super good for goals per game last time, and it was really a surprise, right?
It was a surprise, yeah. I don't know how replicable that is, but definitely a shout there. You've got 10 seconds on the clock.
Man, 10 seconds. All right, I think I'm gonna. I might live to regret this pick, but I'm gonna go for a midfield player, and I think I'm gonna grab Exotic.
Exotic in the midfield. Okay.
I wasn't super happy with you know, I had Exotic as my third pick last time. He ended up letting me down a little. He was actually pretty good. He was over 2, so he wasn't bad. But, you know, I feel like he's been. I'm watching Vitality with, you know, of course, like, you're if you're a fan of your team, you're the team's worst critic, right? Like, I'm looking at Space Station and I'm like, oh, these guys look great, and Martian's like, oh man, like, what was that? And I'm like, I feel like that's the same for me and Vitality. It's like, you know, they look really good in a lot of series, and then I'm sitting there like, what are we doing, man? Like, so I don't feel super strong about this pick, but I still think this is a top 6 team. I still think this is a top 6 team. That might be controversial in this current climate of Europe and of the global world, but I think Vitality is still good. I think
Vitality, the
it's not
second
like Exotic is
team
gonna
off
drop
the board.
Like, yeah.
Oh wow, wait, they're the second full team off. That's
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they were early off the board. I think they were all off the board first last LAN because I know
Yeah,
Exotic.
Someone grabbed Zen. Belleair grabbed Zen immediately, and then I grabbed Monkey Moon Exotic back to back. So.
Yep, because like they're also pretty good statistically. A little bit of a downturn this last LAN, at least for Exotic specifically. But yeah, definitely still a statistically solid team that is worth looking into. With that, we go to pick number, what is it, 27? And we land on Myth. Go for it.
All right. First off, I want to. I'm allowed to just change some positions.
Oh, yeah.
Really quickly.
Yep.
All right. First off,
I'll pause the clock then.
wait, can you bring up the just can you bring up whatever position just so I can on stream so
I can't bring it up on stream really.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna say the wrong thing.
You've got it on the document, right? You can look at the parameters thing. I can't bring it up on stream, unfortunately.
I'm very confused. Oh wait, parameters, right? Yes. Oh, okay, yeah. So I'd like to first of all, I'd like to swap. I'm gonna put Atto up front next to Zen.
All right.
As and where Atto was previously, I'd like to move Daniel.
Daniel at left. He's listening to chat. I know where I saw that.
This Myth guy, man, he's so impressionable. Like, he's just gonna sit there, do things, and then like let everybody else around like yell at him and like change his mind. Like, this guy's making his top 20 list, and then he goes in a shift, and they tell him that he's underrating Mina, and then he puts 3 Mina teams on his list.
There's the 3 of our teams, and then there's the communal 4th team.
I was getting lobbied, bro. Lobbied, bro. Like, I'm pretty like if I to be honest, if I held a bit longer, I'd probably have like Saudi royalty throw a bag at me. So maybe I should have done that.
All right, Myth. I'm gonna restart your clock for the draft then.
Okay. But not necessarily needed. I'm gonna take have our next full team off. I'm gonna be taking Reveal.
Reveal from SSG off the board.
Okay.
Where?
I like
I got
it.
it at the right place.
I'm gonna be sticking him. Let me just get the thing real quick. I'm sticking him as a center back.
Center back Reveal. All right. I know he is still like decent amount of saves per game. He's at 2.17 in the online split. So definitely
Here's my logic behind it, right? I feel like SSG are definitely going to have at least 1, maybe 2 struggle series. I feel like every rookie you can think of has at least 1 struggle series, right? Like Zen, he got taken to 5 by complexity. AJG Miss, we all know. Daniel struggle series against Dignitas back in the day. Raleigh had some poor series in Copenhagen. Against Gentlemates especially. Anyone you can think of, and because they're all rookies, I don't think they will have a struggle series. And I feel like the way they play the game is not going to match up amazingly against some international teams. I feel like they're going to be trapped in defense a bit more than they would be native in NAs. I feel like saves are going to be a high point for them. So I feel like Reveal's going to do very well for me, as Scribble's going to do well for you, Martin.
All right. Thank you for stalling for me while I got to do a little bit of research. Because I got 2 picks here. I'm looking at my team. I've got my 2 center forwards filled out. I've got Rawas, Sphinx, Magic in the midfield, and then Scribbles on defense. I got to fill out some defense here soon.
This guy's doing what I was doing last time.
Yeah. I'm looking. Oh, I got to go back to the available page.
Oh yeah, I actually, besides Rawas, Rawas is kind of in the mid or in the back. But I'm looking at your roster. I'm seeing who's gonna be in the back, bro.
Who's going to be in the defense? Yeah. I mean, normally those defenders do fall to a bit later in the draft. And I know it didn't work out, but I feel like the Sosa Catalysm backline isn't the worst idea, even if it didn't work in practice. I think I will maybe reach a bit for a defender here. But I'll do that with pick 29, actually. I do want one more person on offense. And last time... I have 22 seconds. Last time, I looked at Jorias as a good offensive option for Dignitas and left Stizzy up on the board. But Stizzy at the Birmingham split had 0.6 goals per game online. This split, he's got 0.83. Even if he underperformed in goals per game in Birmingham, I trust him this time. I'm going Stizzy with the 28th pick.
Yeah, I'm glad
Chad is going to love that. They've been saying Stizzy needed to go like for the last like 6 picks.
Yeah, I was noticing
now
that.
It's gone.
And
Stizzy
it's like
hasn't gone yet.
I was liking Kofer as well, but then obviously that was going to get sniped twice before getting to me. So yeah, that brings me Stizzy. That puts him on offense. So I'll definitely have to remake my formation a little bit. If we move him to a wing, let's go with a 4-3-3 for now. All right, and then. Yeah, we got some defenders to fill out. So I will go ahead. I got to switch to this move. I will go ahead and just pick another guy from Foot Esports. Typing it in the wrong place. We're drafting Leora with the 29th. I know that was a pick that Myth reached for last time, looking at his stats. He's definitely a good defender. Got like 2.06, or maybe it was just 2.
Stop looking at the stats, bro. We know that.
2.07 saves per game. He got 2.3 saves per game in London. Definitely a solid option. So we're picking Leoro with the 29th. I got to take some time to fill in these stats here. Just make sure I lock everyone up. So Myth, I'm stalling for you to get more time.
Funny, there's a lot of draftable players I still like. Sorry, Myth, go ahead.
I accidentally closed the Birmingham thing I had open, so let me just reopen that. Quickly, I need to just...
Stizzy, Leoro, and then I need my assists per game. Where are they in the assists per game category? Oh, Stizzy had the same amount of assists per game as he did goals per game in Birmingham. Also, this sheet got a little bit wrong. I'm looking in the wrong column. Apologies for taking my time on this one. There's Leora.
How dare you?
It's a darker orange than I want it to be. All right, and then we switch back to here. Hit the alt tab so that'll pop up. You've got to not be that color. You've got to be... Mata isn't drafted yet.
Mata, not yet.
I don't know why that's there then. Lost, Belleair, you have Lost, right?
I sure do.
All right, and then I've got Behead. Yeah, some of the colors just got a bit wonked up around there. But I think that fixes it. Okay. Got to reset the clock. On the board now is, or on the clock now, I guess is the phrase, is Myth. I'll start the 1 minute, 30-second timer. Go for it.
Oh, God. I kind of don't have... I had someone in mind looking at it. I have to kind of panic here. Who's available? All right. Let's see. What's online? What am I looking for? I think I'm going to go and get All right, I'm still in game. 1 second.
You have like a minute, I think.
Yeah, we got 50 seconds still.
Right, give me. You know what? Give me Juicy as my I think as a center, as a goalkeeper. Give me Juicy's goalkeeper.
Juicy in goal for Myth. All right. I got to mark him off on stats. This is his return to LAN after missing the first one. Was definitely eyeing him. He was actually the player
really good on mine.
I've passed him twice. I had him slated as hoping to get him at 2021, and then I didn't pick him up at 28-29. So, a little bit of draft prio changes in my book, but still definitely an option I was looking at and could very much be an impact player. I'm stalling for CaptainDolphin now.
I love that.
Yep, you got some time as I fill this in. I think got him there, and so if I go back to this draft board and then Alt-Tab, it should fill in. All right. Yeah, Juicy was definitely a pick I was eyeing, so I got to cross him off my whiteboard here. All right, this brings us to pick number 31, which falls to CaptainDolphin, and the clock is running.
All right. I have a couple in mind here, and I'm looking at locking it down. Just a sec.
Yeah, it's getting kind of like crunch
I've
time.
been going
here.
for a lot of defensive players for the last, I think 4 out of my last 5 were all defensive players. I think it's time to roll back up to the front. Last time, I think this player, we let him, a lot of us were kind of unsure about how he was going to fit into his new team at the time. And he was drafted in pick 7 in the round, I think. What is that? I think he was like early 20s, and I was like, I kind of wanted him. I'm gonna go with LJ.
LJ. Yeah.
Yes, bro. I just looked at LJ as like, oh, wow, I should get this guy. Literally,
So,
I'm just
I'm looking at LJ and I'm like,
I have the message typed up.
I think Ultimates is really underrated. They are NA4 seed, but I think most of us have them as SSG and Ultimates can go either way for NA2, NA3. Like, it's pretty clear Genji is probably NA4 in terms of their % chance to make top 8. And I really still like LJ as an offensive threat. Like, he's still scary. I'm watching him play, and it doesn't look like, I'm not sitting there like, wow, he just like can't shoot anymore. Like, I'm looking at Exotic and I'm like, I feel like he can't shoot. Something's gone wrong, but I feel like LJ can still shoot.
All right.
Will they make the finals again? Probably not. That looking at the results, I feel like that was more of a fluke. We're seeing that more, not a fluke, but like, I feel like you kind of know what I mean. But anyway, all that is to say, I think LJ is a good pick in this 31 time.
All right, where are we penciling him in?
Typically enhances his skills at majors too. Sorry.
Yes,
There you go.
yes. Oh, I mean, he's unbelievable in the stats category. I think before last LAN, he was the only player who was in over 2.0 expected in every category, because he had like 0.6 goals per game, 0.9 goals per game, 0.6 assists per game, 0.2 saves per game. Like, he was like everywhere. But that was Space Station. That was a while ago. He's now, very much different play style, and it's been like a while since we've really seen that. But this is that area where we all said it's fair to be taking big chances. So I like LJ.
Yep. All right. You want him? Where on the pitch are you looking?
Let's keep him up in the front for now.
All right.
I will definitely be moving my players around for sure. But
Absolutely, yeah. There's going to be a bit of that going on after the draft for sure. But with that, we go to this page. Log in the LJ. And Belleair's got 2 back-to-back picks. He is now on the clock with the 32nd pick.
Yeah, I'm getting tremendous value here. This might be my favorite duo that I've picked over the course of this deep into the draft makes it special. And the fact that I'll get to bum out Myth a little bit is the cherry on top. I'm going to take Drufinho, and I'm going to take TRK. I can't believe they're still here on the board.
Drufinho, I keep editing the wrong part of the sheet. Drufo and TRK.
I was considering Droopy. I'm just not looking at TRK, bro. I honestly think that's a misplay. If you look at online Mina, his stats have been shocking.
Who do
I feel
Falcons?
like his online Mina stats aren't really relevant though. Like it's not important how TRK plays online.
Bro, no.
When you say
it's on Vicky, right? You know, okay, famously, I've called Mina champ too. Right? And look,
Famously,
to them very least GC, right? At the very least, they're GC, right? And against GCs, you really should just be thumping me stats. I'm sorry, bro. Like, go for that triple reset. Like, it's the GCs, bro.
well, here's the thing with TRK at least. He is consistently
poor stats against Mina, which is like a relatively uncompetitive region for him. That's not a good sign, in my opinion.
I think while that's the case, still getting him at 32 is an absolute steal. Like I passed on him almost 2 rounds in a row now, and I was like, someone's gonna pick him. I just didn't want to have all 3 Falcons on my team, truthfully, because I feel like that doesn't give me enough diversity. But yeah, he was a pick that I was looking at way back at 2021. As you know, he's at least gonna get assists. He got 0.79 assists per game at Birmingham, or he's gonna get like the 0.97 goals per game like he got at Worlds. He is definitely still a player that's up there, even if it has been a bit of a down split for him.
I'd like to put
Belleair just won the draft. Chat Vows thinks Belleair has won.
Let's go.
It's over.
Can I put Drufo into that left back slot, and then I'll put TRK into that right mid.
All right, left back and right mid. Give me 2 seconds.
And thank you.
Yep. So Drufinho,
I think
go
it's
for it.
funny. Myth was talking. He says, "Oh, for sure, I would have thought about Drufinho, but TRK was like an L pick." TRK was the one I was thinking of. I think Drufinho, we left him unpicked last time, yeah.
We did, yes. He was one of the 4 undrafted players last major.
And I don't think, with hindsight, that was actually the worst. Like, I don't think that was that bad. Like, when I look at his stats, I'm like unimpressed by. I mean, he's like assist average is like somewhere in the 0.4 range. His goals average is somewhere in the 0.5 range, and his saves is somewhere in the 1.4 to 1.6. None of those are looking that big to me. And I'm looking at what he did at Birmingham. He was the lowest in saves. He was the lowest in assists, and he was the second lowest in shots and goals. So I'm looking. I don't really see Drufinho as like a statistically valuable player, in my opinion.
He's definitely
I agree.
difficult to predict.
I have to quickly just 30 seconds. I need to just go. So I mean, I probably won't affect my drop, but I'll be back in 30 seconds.
All right. Well,
okay, I'm gonna be taking more time than that on my pick anyway. So
Captain Dolphin's got 1 minute 30 seconds on the clock, starting now.
All right. What slots do I still need to fill? Look.
Martian, do you remember who the 4 undrafted were?
It was Raziers, Drufinho, Stizzy, and Torsos. So Raziers isn't at this major. Stizzy and Drufo have now been drafted. Torsos is still available to be drafted.
Yeah.
But
I think Torsos will go undrafted again.
I might go for 2.
He might. Yep. Stats aside, Belleair starting 11 is so good. Appjack and KB1 is center backs. Monkey Moon is the game leader. between offense and defense. Lost next to him with more offensive power and Drowling B mode as striker. Yeah, it's a pretty lethal squad.
Shout out Chris, sees the vision.
Yep.
If these were, it'd be a fun
Dolphin, you got
way
30
to think
seconds.
about this.
Yep.
Outside of the fantasy, if it was like straight up just like a huge Rocket League field, 11 versus 11,
Oh yeah.
which squad would be the best?
I think when you're looking at 11 versus 11, you got to go for those demo players, like early picks.
Oh
I think
yeah.
That's a
that
good call.
they have more value the more the field is really full. I have 10 seconds left, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with, since I need to fill up my defense again, and it feels like kind of lame to come back to the hole again, but I'm gonna go with VK.
VK Salen.
All three of Foot being drafted before even a single TSM player has been drafted. I think it's kind of funny because
Yeah,
I think
that
those
is
are the
crazy.
two most likely teams to go 0 and 3. But I was just so disappointed with Chiefs last time, and I don't think I actually put this on my ranking. I had Chiefs on my ranking as 20th, not because I think they're actually better than TSM, because obviously TSM won that last regional. I think they are better. But I actually wanted to make sure that it was known in the ranking that the gap between them isn't that big. So I wanted to put Chiefs on there and not TSM to kind of balance out the fact that everyone else is going to have TSM.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So my point there was both of those teams aren't that good, but I don't know if they're even going to be that good on defense. So and I think we've seen VK we've seen VK 2 lanes in a row put up 2.0-ish saves. That seems pretty safe to me. I'm gonna hold on to him there.
All right.
So
Where on the pitch are you looking? Because right now you've got Torres and Cheese as center backs, Fever as a goalkeeper. You don't have any of your fullbacks positioned just yet, so there's some room there.
sure,
But you can also move some of the guys you have currently.
let me.
Or I mean, since Smith isn't here, if you want to just completely revitalize your formation based
I'm
on.
here, bro. I'm here, bro.
All right, he's back. He's back. He's back.
Let's see. Maybe I'll move Cheese to right back, and then I'll move VK into center back.
All right. So the dual foot esports center back pairing. VK Salen. All right. I didn't do this part yet either. I got to highlight VK stats. He's going to be pretty low on the goals per game for both things. Same with assists. Subtle jab. Saves per game, 1.9 and 2.0. Definitely respectable in the statistical categories there. And we are still doing, I know like Direct has been keeping track of saves per goal attempt now. We're still just doing raw saves per game because it's easier. So
That's cool. That's good stat. That's fun.
yeah,
Better stat.
it's definitely better for determining who's like the most effective at being in, who's the more effective defender rather than just farming saves because you're only on defense the entire time. So,
But
all
one
right.
thing I would
for
love
it.
to see is some kind of saves compared to. I know it's really hard to quantify, but like shot like strength, because sometimes you get a save from the ball kind of really just slowly rolling towards your backboard or towards your net, but like you didn't actually.
You didn't do
no
much.
heroics. There was nothing really being saved.
Yep.
It's just
a
kind of
clear.
like, oh, it was like on the way, and you made it clear, and you make a save.
Yeah, your
So I
point
wish there was
farming.
some kind of way to. Yeah, I wish there was a. It's just really hard to quantify that.
All right. Myth, you are back on the clock. It starts now.
Right. I'll be honest, every time that I've been waiting for my next pick, I think I've gone through about 5 different players. Yeah, this is definitely going to be my next pick. But in a sudden turn of events, I've just realised that the sleeper has gone underappreciated. So if we bring up my thingamabob, I'm going to look to move Juicy from goalie to centre back and slot in the Warriors.
Okay, so we're drafting Jorias. And then Let me pull this up.
It's definitely a work in progress, but I've realised this save spam's going insane.
So you're moving Juicy away from goalkeeper into center back. And then are you putting Jorias in goal?
I just realised I've messed up. I just realised I messed this pick up back. Wait, is this still my pick? Have I just locked in yours? Do I still have time?
Yeah, you have just locked in Jorias.
I did just type it into the document, yes.
Oh, I messed this up. No, I had a plan in mind.
This is a heater of a round.
It's okay.
All right. We'll move this around for now. I'll pencil in Jorias as your goalkeeper for the time being.
Which is a shame because I don't think Martian was going to take him. Maybe it was.
I've realised I had an idea, bro. Actually, this still could work. Wait.
This could.
Val just went in chat. Typical should go to Martian. Martian should pick for 36. Typical and controller.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and lock Sipical and his controller cable in as 36 and 37. I feel like that's a pretty smart
Didn't
move.
know they were available.
Yeah,
Picks.
they're always available. But no, with 36, I'm pretty happy this player's fallen this far because I have been eyeing him for defense. He leads mates in saves per game. Last available gentlemate. Yep. It's Seiko off the board at 36. I can't be passing him up. I didn't even start the timer. But I'll go ahead and start the timer for 37. Looking at who is left. Who do I have on the pitch? I mean, we'll pencil in Seiko here. I gotta go back to this draft. Need some left backs or need some full backs. So probably gonna need some defenders. Let's see. What can I cook up in the next minute? Draft planning. Order prio. All those players are off the board. Risky, but I see that. I think all these players are off the board too. That's tragic.
Final couple rounds.
Yep. This is where it gets interesting. That's attacking stats.
I think it was interesting. It's been interesting the whole time.
Oh yeah, it has.
For all of you hanging around, now it's interesting.
Yeah, chat's giving me ideas. I do kind of like see the vision there. I think that's risky. I don't really know who's going to be the defender for TSM. That's kind of the
crazy
problem.
That they're fully on the board. I didn't want to say it, but
yeah,
since we're
here.
Foot is all gone, and TSM is still all here.
I'm running out of time. I'm going with the thing that sounds like a cheese. I'm going Mata from Team Secret.
Mata.
Okay.
I'm liking him.
That was one I had in this range.
I'm liking him as a potential defensive player. I was thinking Swift might be last land, but I forget what Mata did saves per game in.
I had him in saves per game. He only gave me 1.3. So
right, that was a disappointing performance. But I don't know if that's a consistent thing. Let's see.
It's not. He's actually, when you look at what he's done in the past, I think he's normally 1.7 to 1.8, and Worlds 24 World he was 1.8. So
yeah,
in 23 Worlds he was 2. So
and while this is
defender, I think.
Yeah, well, it is South American
last
stats.
lane was just,
he leads the team in saves per game in the online portion of this split. So could potentially, I'll probably end up as a left back or a wing back, truthfully, depending on what else we go with, because I was also looking at his defensive stats. But I'll go ahead, reset the clock. I need a minute to fill this out. I drafted Seiko, which also has 3 lands in the Blast era, so I can highlight these in orange. Maybe I should look at the page that I've put up because that might have helped with who I wanted to draft. Mata. All right. And then we've got Seiko here. Oh, Mata isn't at that land. Duh. Mata. Seiko. Seiko. Mata. And then Mata was, really bad in saves per game last land. So we'll see where I end up slotting him in. But with that being said, we're back to the 38th pick, which falls to Myth, and you're on the clock.
All right, so I've noticed something. I've been checking out some regional stats recently, as well as like Birmingham, and I've noticed that despite doing pretty bad in assists in Birmingham, this player regionally is actually the most recent regional top of the charts in his region for assists at 1.0 a game. So I think I'm going to be taking Swift as a central attacking mid.
Swift as the CAM. I like that. I was also looking at Swift a little bit too, but I feel like my offense is pretty figured out. But Swift goes off the board at 38. Looking at him as a cam, so I'll go ahead and shift Eugen slightly down here. He'll still be that center mid, but move Swift up here. So we're kind of working with a 4-3-1-2 almost with Myth. And yeah, that is. We've got 6 picks left, which means there's 10 players left on the board, all 3 of TSM. I think Dolphin and I are a little bit scarred from that Chiefs experience from the first major, as you were mentioning. That was something. But yeah, if you can give me 3 seconds to fill out Swift in the red.
I don't think Virtues are going to do as well as doing us did the one.
That's also true. Yeah, we got two left on Virtus Pro as well, so definitely gets into the depths. This is where games can be won and lost, because if we remember, 2 of Belleair's top performers were actually his last 2 picks in the draft, being Atomic and Joyo. Joyo lit it up in the midfield. Atomic was a solid wingback position. This brings us to pick number 39, which is CaptainDolphin, and you were on the board. Or on the clock.
Yeah, I'm doing some thinking.
Yep.
Oh, I marked it on the sheet. I think I accidentally listed. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I misread it. My bad. Misread it. Is my audio gone or?
No,
What's
I'm
that?
just not talking.
Oh, shit. That pop on my audio cut out for a second.
Yeah, we
No,
went
no.
pump fake
No
by
one's
your
just
last
no one's-
pick.
All right, we have 45 seconds left.
All right.
I'll take this brief interlude to say, Martian, thanks for putting this together and for doing all the admin work.
Oh, absolutely. It's
behind
a
the
ton of
scenes on
fun.
this. Stizzy has been picked, yes.
Yeah, I got Stizzy.
Atomic,
20
Atomic is
seconds.
available. Responding to chat.
I think it's time to go for another defensive / midfield kind of player. I'm gonna grab Chronic here.
Chronic at number 39. That's the last of the ultimates off the board.
There was another player that I was like between him and them, but it's looking to me like Chronic has been more impactful numbers wise than the other player I was looking at basically every time. So I'm gonna lock him down here.
All right. General preference on where you want to slot him in for now.
Yeah, I was probably thinking left back could be good.
Left back for Chronic. All right, let's go ahead and update that. And then I will update this for Chronic. Yeah, I remember Chronic was Belleair's goalkeeper last event. And
Yeah.
I think part of it might have been just because he played so many games, but he wasn't really a statistical leader. He was, I think, the worst scoring player, one of the worst scoring players that we had. Or no, it wasn't that. It was if everyone was placed in their best position, Chronic would have been the lowest, actually. But that's definitely not like a trend that is present throughout all of his major performances. So definitely think a large part of that got inflated with his, finals appearance. But
Right.
definitely still a solid pick
And then
there.
they got absolutely smashed by NRG, by Carmine Corp. So,
Okay, Corp. Yeah.
when you're sitting there, you play 4 games right at the end, and you do nothing. It's like really tough.
Yep.
So,
All right. Belleair, you've got pick number 40 on the clock right now.
Thank you. I've been hovering around a certain player, but I was looking at my projections on the matchups I think they're going to have, and I just don't think it looks very well. It doesn't look good for them statistically. So while I think they're the best option available, I'm going to pass. It's going to happen eventually where we're going to have this TSM fire sale. I think I'd like to be proactive and just take the best option just so I don't have to get stuck with somebody. Look, this team's going to be in some track meets for sure. With the teams they're going up against, I'm projecting TSM to go against Vitality, Twisted Minds, Foot, and Team Secret, and I think a lot of those are going to have some shots getting up on the board. So let me take who I think is the best player on this team. Let me grab Lockie.
Oh man, that is a little bit of a bummer from my perspective. For no reason at all, of course, but Super Lockie off the board at number 40. I would agree with him being the best player on TSM. All 3 of them are very confusing stats wise.
Yeah, they're really tight statistically, so I'm just going best player.
Yep.
Previously, Lockie was very defensive, but like I can't like Anthus is kind of hard falling off, so now Super Lockie is like filling for offense on those defense going down.
Yep. All right. I gotta bring up the draft planning board. Where on the pitch are you looking at putting him? I guess there's there's still technically 2 spots right now.
Yeah, it's a good question. Let me put him in that right back position.
Right back
please.
For Super Lockie. All right. Let me just wait for that to come up on the screen. And then we're down to the last pick. This is the part of the draft where it stops snaking because Belleair got the first pick, and I think there's the natural advantage. We did this with the last draft as well. 41 through 44 take the backwards order of the snake draft. So I lead off with the 41st pick. 8 players left to go. 4 will be undrafted. And go ahead and start it. I've got 8 players to consider.
Sorry.
No, Myth, it's me on the clock, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, sorry, I overshot Halloween.
No, you're good.
Someone walked in, I thought.
Bro pre-jumped.
Bro's pre-jumping the draft. Well, if you want to let me know who you're trying to get, I can maybe snipe them for you.
Oh yeah, so I was thinking of I'm actually so lost on this one. I might honestly names and just stick them into a thing.
I might just need to stop looking at stats and just.
Actually, I think I need to go on a pick on defensive aura. Because none of these, I don't think any of these players popping off. I can't lie.
I mean, he is not a defensive player, though. What has he done online defensively? What has he done in the? Oh, I don't know. Because I feel like I want to put this person at left back. I might stay on the TSM bandwagon, truthfully. But it's not who you guys are going to think. I'm rolling with Kaka. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So this guy is leader in his team for assists, I believe. Yeah. Leader in assists per game online for TSM. And tied. I don't know if he's tied. No, he's like 0.02 saves per game behind. So definitely a solid option for the TSM lineup. I'll go ahead and slot him in for now just at left back. That might end up changing.
Are we not to trade players between us again?
I have not really implemented any kind of thing for that, truthfully. We might be able to talk about that later, but that's not a draft day thing, I think.
Yeah, so playing the one through one.
Then I got to fill in. Let's go back to this page. Let me fill in the Kaka stats. He has 1 land appearance in recent times, that being the London Major, where unfortunately he did not dazzle in the assists category. He got 0.01, or he got 0.18. So a bit of an oversight there on my end, but not much you can do with the last pick of the draft.
Was Kaka not there for 24 Worlds? Am I missing?
No, because he was on Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. He was at EWC with that top 8 run with Jorius. So.
Yeah, okay.
But with that, we've got the 42nd pick now. Myth, your last pick of the draft is now running.
I have no clue. I'll be. Money. I don't know you mean money, but I don't want to do this player mode. Right, just give me Atomic.
Atomic?
No!
He's going
Damn it.
Oh.
Man! I had this whole thing planned out. I had teammates' speech up on the left screen. I was going to tell you guys about Massimo. Man, and I was going to talk about
Let me tell you about Massimo.
Oh my goodness. All
I had
right.
it already. That's so unlucky, man.
Man.
Atomic.
Been out of shape.
I was surprised.
Just draft somebody quickly. Don't think about it.
I know Atomic is a difficult player to pin when it comes to stats, but I was still surprised a player from NRG fell this far. Honestly. Like,
No, I was thinking that too, but then every single time it came up to be my pick, I was like, where am I going to put him?
exactly.
I'm looking at Atomic and I'm looking at Chronic, and I'm like, actually, Chronic is better on defense every time.
Mm.
So.
All right.
And then I was looking at VK Sailing for defense too, and then I don't know. I wanted to pick Atomic 3 times. Man.
All right. 2 picks left in the draft. Only 6 available players. Captain Dolphin, you're up.
I think I know 3 of the players that are going to get left undrafted, but I'm not sure about.
I know one of the players is going to be
Who
left
should I grab
undrafted.
here?
I could see this going anyway, to be honest.
Poor Sauce.
Yes.
Poor Sauce for sure.
I don't think Justin's gonna get drafted. I think Virtus Pro players can get drafted. I think
The problem is I'm looking at my formation and I need a midfield. I don't need a defense, which I was looking at those Sosa and Catalysm guys, and I'm like,
they're not the midfielders of that team, yeah.
They're decent picks at this point, but neither of them are really what I need. So what?
Is Rice a horrible choice at midfield?
It's
I
going to give
didn't
you some
love
help.
what he was doing.
You got 35
At
seconds on the
Belleair
clock.
Major. His assists are
Tossus
really
is actually
poor
a
at the
bad
last
pick.
major.
Okay, I'll just help you here. Tossus is not a bad pick assists wise. He was 12 for Birmingham.
We got 23 seconds,
Yeah.
Dolphin.
Almost beat Carmine Core single-handedly, Torso.
That's true. That's true.
Let's not act like that wasn't a generational fever performance. Well as Casey was being.
I think
Picked on
5.
G2 as well.
I think I'm gonna go for Justin.
Justin, all right.
Oh,
I respect it. I respect
I
it.
don't know if that's a pass or not, but I'm
Well,
looking
I
at
think
the other
it was-
players and I'm like, I don't know if any of these are really useful for my team. So this could be this. Hey, Belleair picked Reddles last time and he shocked the world. So
That's true. That is true. We
Maybe I'll
were
pick him this time.
talking about this where it was like we're getting down to the last 8. Dolphin and I are in chat and we're like, who do we think is going to go undrafted? I think we both said we thought Reddles was going to go undrafted. And then the first out of the 8 was picked Reddles. And he gets like 0.75 assists per game or something like that. Sometimes it's just, if you place them in the midfield and they happen to pop, you're getting a massive amount of points because of that 4 times multiplier. So, yep, Justin does not have any blast arrow lands.
Reddles' LAN averages before last LAN, his assist average was 0.42. So he was like, that was like so statistically anomaly for Reddles to have done that. But
It worked
I'm
out.
happy for you.
Yep.
So.
5 players left to pick from. Belleair, you've got the last pick in the draft, and the clock is running.
Yeah, man. I think if I've been panicking, thinking, knowing that I need to fill in that goalie slot. Who's it going to be? Gosh, maybe I'm going to end up putting a player there that I don't want. I think ultimately a top 3, top 4 goalie on my big board fell to me here for the last pick. Give me Catalysm to round it out.
All right. I definitely respect
I was thinking about Catalysm. Yo, you go.
Yeah, so I drafted him. It was like 30-something last time. And it was between him and Sosa. I think I had them both. I had Sosa as my goalkeeper, Catalysm as a defender. They both ended up getting 1.47 saves per game, which is much lower than I projected them to get. But I think a large part of that is due to Virtus Pro overperforming the expectations, and potentially just the fact that they ran into both OCE teams helps them not have to face as much of that pressure. So yeah, definitely a solid pick for the defensive, even if it didn't pan out the first LAN. And he's also a flex pick because Catalysm got 1 goal per game when he was playing on offense, which is an insane anomaly, truthfully. If he does that again, I don't think he'll be ignored for the attacking side when it comes to Worlds. But yeah, so that concludes the draft. The 4 undrafted are Torsos, Amphis, Rise, and Sosa.
Hey, do we want to, Martian, do you want to do it one more round? If we were to pick them, do we want to see who Mr. Irrelevant would have been?
Sure. Yeah, we'll do. I'm not sure how the order would go. Probably switches.
I won't pick. Do you want to just do it the same as?
Okay.
Probably just the same again. So you first, Martin, then you.
All right. If I was to pick a player to try to round these out, I think it would be Rise, because he does have like a pretty solid offensive performance, and I know he's not in great form, and like Myth has not been singing his praises by any stretch of the imagination specifically, but he normally gets you at least 2 points if you put him somewhere on offense, so I'd have a hard time just completely leaving him off, and if I needed to slot him in, like say making a roster change after day 2 of the LAN, that's a player where I could see, okay, maybe he slots in
somewhere. Do you
somewhere.
just want to like drop these final players like subs so we like slot in?
I'm going to be honest, I don't have time to be switching formations mid-LAN, so we're running the same way where it's like you said it beforehand, and I'm going to do all the math afterwards. So, all right, and then Myth, between Torsos, Amphis, and Sosa, who you got?
Yeah. Price, we've got really exciting options here. Give me
Sosa gets off the board. All right, and then between Torsos and Amphis, Dolphin.
Oh, which OCE player?
I think I grabbed Torsos. I think I have to.
Wow.
He looked okay in assists. And I'm just looking at TSM like I'm so for sure that they're gonna be doing nothing. And
no,
I don't know.
No, I feel a bit of momentum. Here's my thing with TSM, right? When there's like
I think Amphis is the most statistically irrelevant player on the most questionable team. So I think it's fair for him to have been left last. Sorry if you see this, bro. Like, hey, no hard feelings. Dolphin true ball nowhere. Thanks.
It's like 4 in the morning for Amphis. I think you're okay.
It's purely just the vibes region, right? Look at Pioneers, right? They barely made world, and they did not care. They said it was something they did not care, and they just had fun, and they beat Gen G, right? I feel like they're just OC just vibes merchants, bro. Like when the vibes are chalked, look at like 22-23 worlds, right? Both OC teams just hate to play with each other, and that was like really bad land for the region, right? And like they've just made it out to get there, right? They clearly enjoy playing with each other. I think they might. I'm not necessarily saying you're going to pull a Pioneers, but I feel like they're going to be a little better.
All right. I know we just kind of shoehorned players into the general formation. Do we want to go through each of us and like try to place players on the pitch where we think we'll end up having them?
I'm not ready for that. I don't think. I think that's going to be an overnight kind of thing. I'm going to make my formation on my.
All right. Well, we'll post that to the.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't have to queue. I have to go soon, so.
All right. Yeah, we'll post that to the community tab and Twitter and stuff like that. But with that being said, yeah, that's the draft. Thank you all for tuning in. This was an absolute blast to put on.
Martin, shout out Martin for picture as
Yeah, for real. Thank you, Martian.
Of course, yeah. This is a ton of fun. I'm glad we got to do this live. And I hope we get to do it before Worlds as well, because there's going to be 60 players at Worlds, which means we could have a fifth and draft 55 players. So, something to keep in mind as we head into the World Championship. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. We'll go in a row if anyone wants to do shout-outs. I know, Myth, you already shouted me out. If you want to finish out some shout-outs, if you got any else.
Well, I might be doing a game of RLCS Jeopardy sometime soon before the major.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm working on it, so if you're interested, come check out on my YouTube channel.
All
I
right.
also have a great debate on roster moves up on my channel, and some also funny shenanigans afterwards.
Yep.
So check that out.
All right. Captain Dolphin, you got shout-outs?
I don't really think so, but I will say, if any of you guys are going to go to Raleigh, I'll be there. I'll be wearing my Vitality jersey. I'm pretty obvious. I'm tall, so I would love to say hi to if anyone's there. I'm not like a celebrity, micro celebrity or anything like that. I'm just a guy, but I'm super excited for this LAN. I think it's gonna be a great time. I haven't been to one. It's been 3 years, so
Yeah. Dang.
yeah.
Yep. And last but not least, Belleair.
Again, thanks to you, Martian. Thanks, Myth and Dolphin for being here. Dolphin, I'll see you in Raleigh, so that'll be fun.
Okay.
We just did a Wave Dash podcast last night. Go find the VOD. Shiftcast coming out soon.
Ooh, yeah.
And then before I go to LAN, I'm going to be posting a one big question for each team coming into the event on YouTube. So keep your eyes out for that.
All right.
Have you recorded it yet?
No, not yet. That's what I'm doing after I drink another
okay.
cup of coffee here.
Nice. Yep. I'll go ahead. Shout out you guys. Thanks for
I liked the
doing
last
this.
one. It was good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is
The World one's gonna be sick.
Yeah, this is just, honestly, I thought of this before the Birmingham Major. I'm like, what if we did something like fantasy related with this? And I'm glad you guys have been so on board to not just do it once, but do it again for this major as well. So, yeah, huge shout out to you guys. Shout out to the people who became channel members during the stream. Appreciate it. Valis, Fishy Sauce, you guys are awesome. And yeah, I think the way I'm probably going to end up running this is if I manage to find time the week after the major, I'm not going to be updating stats for this until afterwards. And I might just go live and do all the math at once. So we might get to see, like, as the rounds progress. I'll still go by rounds so we can see how the scores are, trending over time, but might be able to do all that on stream. But with all that being said, thank you all for tuning in, and I will catch you guys next time. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. All right. We'll catch you guys later.
Later, guys.
See you guys. Bye.